Mari had never envisioned that a mere gesture of goodwill could transform her existence. Upon discovering two lost, weeping little girls tucked away in the corner of a bustling office building, she anticipated nothing beyond a brief act of kindness. Yet, when the girl's father, a prominent CEO, stepped into the doorway, Mari felt herself pulled into a realm that was entirely unfamiliar to her. Unbeknownst to her, this unexpected meeting would ignite fresh aspirations and put to the test all her preconceived notions about who she truly was. Mari had spent almost a year as a janitor in the city's tallest building. It lacked luster, yet it covered her expenses and fueled her drive as she pursued a greater ambition. She envisioned a future where she could run her own small business, maybe a cozy cafe or a charming flower shop. She possessed a vision, a steadfast resolve, and with each passing day, she moved nearer to her aspiration. Her existence revolved around a steady rhythm and uncomplicated pleasures, and she found satisfaction in that. Or at least that was the case until today. It was merely an ordinary Thursday. Mari was in the midst of tidying up one of the vacant offices on the 20th floor when she caught the sound of gentle sobbing emanating from behind the expansive glass window. She hesitated, attuned to the sounds around her, before rising from her task to explore further. Initially, her gaze found nothing but emptiness, yet soon it settled on two diminutive shapes nestled on the soft couch beside the window. Two small girls, perhaps about 4 years old, with faces marked by tears, were nestled closely together. Mari felt a surge of compassion for them. Her heart ached for the children, and the sight of them, lost and distressed, swept away any thoughts of the dusting and mopping that awaited her attention. She approached them softly and knelt to meet their gaze. "Hey, are you both all right?" she inquired, her tone soft yet comforting. The girls gazed up at her, their large blue eyes brimming with uncertainty and trepidation. The elder girl, distinguished by her lighter blonde hair, sniffled softly and discreetly wiped her nose on her sleeve. "We're lost," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. Mari felt a constriction in her chest. "Where are your parents? Are you aware of their whereabouts?" The girls nodded in disagreement. "We were with Daddy, but we don't know where he went," the younger one said, her voice quivering with uncertainty. Mari inhaled deeply, striving to maintain composure for their benefit. With a tender touch, she grasped the hand of the older girl. "There's no need to fret, dear. I'm here to assist you in locating your father. All right?" She smiled, but beneath the surface, a sense of panic was starting to creep in. The twins nodded, their tiny hands grasping at Mari's. She led them to the elevator, her thoughts swirling with urgency. She was completely unaware of how they had arrived at this place, distant from those who had led them here. As she neared the front desk, the receptionist glanced at the girls and then at Mari, her eyebrow arching in curiosity. "Is everything all right?" the receptionist inquired, her voice laced with a hint of worry. "They've gone astray," Mari said hastily, striving to maintain her composure. It seems they were distanced from their father. The receptionist swiftly picked up the phone to alert security, but before Mari could intervene, the elevator doors slid open, and a tall man hurried in, his expression etched with concern. He wore a tailored suit that spoke of luxury, his blonde hair perfectly coiffed, and his striking blue eyes immediately captivated the attention of the girls. "Ellie, Emma," he shouted, his voice laced with both relief and urgency. The twins dashed toward him, leaping into his embrace. Mari lingered at the periphery, silently observing the heartfelt reunion unfold before her. It was evident how deeply this man cherished his daughters, and the gratitude he felt for having reunited with them was palpable. "Thank you," he said, gazing up at Mari with appreciation shining in his eyes. "I'm uncertain about what transpired." They stood close by, and as I turned, he let out a weary sigh, unmistakably drained from the chaotic search. "I regret that you had to be part of this situation." Mari gently shook her head, a tender smile gracing her lips. "No trouble whatsoever. I'm simply relieved that they're safe." The man returned the smile, yet there was an air of distance about him, as if his thoughts were elsewhere. Perhaps it was the pressure of the situation, Or maybe he was simply accustomed to juggling numerous tasks simultaneously. Yet, Mari observed the way he appeared to have everything in order, exuding confidence even amidst the pressure of the moment. She felt a flicker of admiration for him. "I'm Edward." The man introduced himself, extending his hand. "Edward Bennett." Mari responded, extending her hand for a shake. "Are you working here?" he inquired, his curiosity unmistakable. She gave a slight nod. "Indeed, I hold the position of janitor. I am part of the team responsible for maintaining the cleanliness of the building." Edward offered her a heartfelt smile. "Thank you for your generosity today, Mari. Your presence has been invaluable. I can't imagine how I would have managed without you." Mari felt a warm flush rise to her cheeks, unaccustomed to being complimented for something so straightforward. It was merely a trivial matter. "Merely fulfilling my responsibilities." He nodded, yet his eyes sparkled with gratitude. "We'll ensure we monitor them more closely from now on," Edward remarked, lifting the girls one by one and embracing them tenderly. "Your assistance means a lot to me. Would it be all right if I took you out for dinner sometime, as a proper way to express my gratitude?" Mari paused, uncertainty gripping her as she contemplated her response. She held the position of a janitor, while he occupied the role of a wealthy businessman. She found it hard to fathom why someone of his caliber would choose to be in her company. Yet, when she caught the genuine look in his eyes, a flicker of hope ignited within her, and for the first time in ages, she considered that perhaps she truly belonged. "Of course," she replied, her voice tinged with a hint of uncertainty, yet her smile remained warm. "That sounds delightful." As Edward strolled away with his daughters, Mari found herself unable to look away from them. The way he embraced his daughters, radiating both protectiveness and affection, stirred within her a captivating blend of admiration and intrigue. She was unaware of his identity, yet there was an undeniable allure surrounding him, something that sparked her curiosity to delve deeper. Unbeknownst to her, this seemingly insignificant moment of assisting two lost girls would alter the trajectory of her life in ways she could never have foreseen. The subsequent days unfolded in a flurry of fresh encounters for Mari. Following the meeting with Edward and his daughters, she found herself unable to shake the thoughts from her mind. It all seemed so fantastical, as if plucked from the depths of a dream. She followed her regular work routine, yet the recollection of the twins and Edward remained in her thoughts, stirring a blend of wonder and curiosity within her. She was taken by surprise to encounter someone like him, so poised and significant. While she tidied up the offices, her mind frequently drifted to that instant in the lobby, when Edward had gazed at her with sincere admiration. On that Friday afternoon, following yet another lengthy shift, Mari made her way to her car when she felt her phone vibrate in her pocket. She retrieved it, taken aback by a message from an unfamiliar number. The inscription was straightforward: "Edward Bennett. I trust this message finds you in good spirits. Are you available to join me for dinner this evening? I truly appreciate your assistance with my daughters." Mari gazed intently at the screen, her heart pounding in her chest. She was surprised by his quick outreach, yet thoughts of him had been persistent in her mind. She paused briefly, uncertain about her next move. In the grand scheme of things, he held the title of CEO, a figure of success and power, while she was merely a regular woman, diligently performing her duties as a janitor. What could a person like him possibly desire from her? Yet, the genuine nature of his words prompted her to rethink her stance. She held a special place in his heart. Her support for his daughters had left him profoundly thankful. Mari swiftly responded, confirming their meeting and scheduling it for 7 p.m. She navigated the remainder of the day with a blend of exhilaration and anxiety, uncertain of what lay ahead. As the evening approached, she adorned herself in her finest attire, a blend of simplicity and elegance. A delicate blouse paired with a sleek black skirt. She focused on cultivating a sense of confidence within herself. She remained unable to dispel the notion that this was perhaps a bit too perfect to be real. Precisely at 7 p.m., Mari made her entrance at the elegant restaurant that Edward had recommended. Upon stepping through the door, an overwhelming sense of not belonging washed over her. The dining establishment exuded sophistication, featuring subdued lighting and the gentle strains of jazz music wafting through the air. Servers in elegant black attire glided effortlessly among the tables, while the atmosphere was infused with the subtle aroma of fine wine and exquisite cuisine. Mari inhaled deeply, seeking to steady her racing heart. She reminded herself to take it easy, to keep in mind that this was merely dinner, not an extravagant occasion. Edward sat at a table in the corner, his blonde hair perfectly styled, his blue eyes radiating warmth yet holding a keen watchfulness. Upon catching sight of her, he rose without hesitation, presenting a heartfelt smile that sent Mari's heart racing. "Mari," he said, his voice velvety and alluring. "It's wonderful to reconnect with you." "Hello, Edward," she said, a hint of anxiety in her smile as she settled into the chair opposite him. She was still adjusting to the refined atmosphere surrounding her. The waiter presented the menus, and they both perused them in silence. Edward lifted his gaze to her and offered a smile. "I realize this may come off as unusual, but I felt it was important to express my gratitude for the support you've given my daughters. Your actions truly touched me, and I believe it would be wonderful to deepen our connection." Mari nodded, her fingers gliding along the edge of her water glass as she sought to soothe the fluttering in her stomach. "I didn't engage in anything out of the ordinary. It was merely a matter of instinct, I suppose." Fear gripped them, and all I wished for was to offer my assistance. "I'm pleased you did," Edward remarked, his tone genuine. "Your assistance was invaluable in helping me locate them." He reclined in his chair, observing her intently. "Share with me, Mari, how you spend your time beyond your professional life. What is your aspiration?" The inquiry took her by surprise, leaving her momentarily uncertain. She found it challenging to open up about her own life, particularly in the presence of someone like him. She spoke softly, sharing her long-held dream of opening a quaint little cafe, a warm and inviting space, perfect for unwinding with a delightful cup of coffee. "I've been putting money aside for it, but it's challenging with my current employment situation." Edward's smile warmed his gaze. "I believe that's a truly beautiful aspiration. You truly deserve it. Have you explored the requirements for starting your own business?" Mari gave a slight shake of her head. "Not quite. I'm at a loss for how to begin. There's much to ponder." "It doesn't have to feel like too much," Edward said, his tone steady and comforting. "If you ever find yourself in need of guidance or someone to assist you in sorting things out, I would be more than willing to offer my support. I possess extensive knowledge of the business realm. I can likely guide you toward the right path." Mari experienced a surge of thankfulness, yet an undercurrent of discomfort lingered within her. She was reluctant to exploit his kindness, hesitant to appear as though she was demanding more than what was appropriate. Yet his proposal was generous, and a part of her yearned to trust that he truly wished to assist. They engaged in conversation, exchanging tales of their lives, aspirations, and personal journeys. As the night progressed, Mari began to settle into a sense of ease. Edward possessed a unique ability to create a sense of comfort, his attentive listening drawing her in, and she discovered herself revealing more than she had planned. She realized he stood apart from the others she had encountered. He wasn't merely a prosperous entrepreneur, but rather a person who genuinely cared. As the last bite of their meal was savored, Edward reclined in his chair, his gaze locking onto hers, a contemplative look gracing his features. "Mari, it's a pleasure to have crossed paths with you. I believe there's potential for a strong friendship between us, perhaps even evolving into something deeper. What are your thoughts?" Mari's heart pounded in her chest, leaving her momentarily at a loss for words. The notion of something deeper between them had never occurred to her, yet now that he had voiced it, the idea hung in the atmosphere, thick with potential. Uncertain of what lay ahead, she experienced a rare sense of possibility, as if the world was wide open for her. The days following their dinner together slipped by in a haze for Mari. Her mind was consumed by thoughts of Edward, the way his gaze had met hers from across the table, filled with genuine sincerity, and how he had ignited a spark within her, making her dreams feel attainable. His words resonated within her, and for the first time in years, She sensed that someone genuinely had faith in her abilities. It wasn't merely his kindness that resonated with her. It was his attentiveness, the way he listened and inquired about her life with sincere curiosity. He had not regarded her as merely another individual, another visage in a sea of anonymity. He had regarded her as someone of significance. Edward contacted her the following week, inquiring if she would like to have coffee or simply get together. Mari felt a wave of uncertainty wash over her, questioning whether this was all happening too quickly, too soon. Yet, she couldn't ignore the undeniable spark that had flared to life between them. There was an essence about him that elevated her sense of self beyond the confines of her job or her circumstances. She transcended the role of a janitor, embodying much more than just the woman who tidied up after others. And perhaps, just perhaps, she might carve out a future that transcended those limitations. She consented to rendezvous with him for a coffee on a serene Sunday afternoon. The cafe exuded a quaint charm, enveloped in warmth, as soft jazz melodies floated through the air, mingling with the enticing scent of freshly brewed coffee. Edward sat at a corner table, his familiar calm and confident presence intact. Yet today there was an unexpected softness to him. Perhaps it was the easy atmosphere or the warmth of his smile upon seeing her. But Mari sensed a shift in the connection they shared. "Ah, you've arrived," he remarked, rising to welcome her with a friendly grin. "I wasn't certain whether you had other commitments, or if you'd be interested in getting together once more." "I nearly didn't," Mari admitted with a soft chuckle. "I thought it would be lovely to reconnect once more." They settled in, and the dialogue unfolded effortlessly between them. Mari realized that she experienced a sense of comfort in his presence that she hadn't felt with anyone in quite some time. His words carried a certain weight, creating an atmosphere where she felt more than just an audience member. It was as if she were cherished, not merely in the company of a prosperous leader, but in the presence of someone who genuinely appreciated her being there. She discovered she was revealing more about her dreams and aspirations, recounting tales from her childhood, and chuckling at his clever comments. As they savored their coffee, Edward reclined in his chair, observing her intently for a moment before he spoke once more. "I've been reflecting on our conversation from the other night, Mari. Regarding the desire to launch a personal venture," he remarked, his tone contemplative. "It may be challenging, yet you possess a sharp mind. I genuinely believe you have the ability to achieve it." Mari smiled, feeling a mix of uncertainty about her response. She appreciated his support, yet the idea of truly committing to it still felt like an enormous jump. "I've always dreamed of opening my own cafe," she said, her voice laced with a hint of uncertainty. "However, I'm uncertain about how to start. There is an abundance of knowledge that remains beyond my grasp." Edward acknowledged the uncertainty with a nod. "This is a significant choice, yet I have connections who can assist you in taking the first steps. If you truly mean it, I can connect you with the appropriate individuals. We can determine what is necessary." Mari's eyes grew large with surprise. "Is that so? Would you really consider that?" "Certainly," he remarked, his grin comforting. "Your seriousness about this is evident, and you possess the determination to bring it to fruition. I'm here to assist you in taking the first steps, without any obligations." A gentle warmth blossomed in her chest at his words. It wasn't merely the gesture of assistance. It was the faith he placed in her, the conviction that she possessed the ability to turn her aspirations into tangible achievements. Edward wasn't merely providing her with business guidance. He was extending an opportunity, something she had hesitated to seek for herself. "Thank you," she murmured softly, a blend of appreciation and astonishment washing over her. "I'm at a loss for words. It holds significant value for me." "No need to speak at all. Consider it carefully. Take all the time you need," Edward said, his gaze gentle. "It's important for you to realize that there are choices available to you. If this is your desire, I will stand by you and offer my support." The dialogue turned to more cheerful subjects following that moment. Yet Mari found it impossible to shake off his words from her mind. She had never envisioned that someone like him would show any interest in her life, much less assist her with something so intimate. Yet, as the afternoon unfolded, she experienced a sensation that had eluded her for quite some time, a feeling of potential. Edward had offered her more than a mere business opportunity. He had instilled in her the conviction that she could realize aspirations she had once only envisioned. As they exchanged their farewells and went their separate ways, Edward offered one last remark that lingered in her mind. "Take your time with everything, Mari. Remember, you are not in this by yourself. We will navigate this journey side by side." Mari walked away with a smile, her heart feeling buoyant. It wasn't merely the concept of starting a cafe that stirred her emotions. It was the dawning awareness that perhaps, just perhaps, she wasn't as isolated as she had always believed. There existed an individual who recognized her potential, someone who perceived her as more than merely a janitor. She was unable to foresee what lay ahead, yet for the first time, a sense of wonder filled her as she considered the possibility of something extraordinary awaiting her. A few days later, Mari found herself enveloped in a storm of reflections. Ever since their coffee date, she couldn't shake off the thoughts of Edward's offer. It wasn't merely the assistance he was providing with her business concept, although that alone felt like a dream realized. What truly occupied her thoughts was the way he made her feel, as though she wasn't invisible, as if she mattered, as though she could transcend the role of the janitor she perceived herself to be each day. For countless years, she convinced herself that her aspirations were unattainable, that individuals like her were not destined for such futures. Yet, Edward had sown a seed of uncertainty in her thoughts, prompting her to question whether she had been mistaken from the very beginning. Under the cloak of night, she resolved to embark on her journey. After a grueling shift at work, fatigue weighed heavily on her. Yet the spark of her aspirations ignited a determination within her to take the next step. She settled at her modest kitchen table, armed with a notepad and a pen, resolute in her intent to begin planning. She meticulously noted every detail for her cafe, envisioning its appearance, the ambience she aimed to cultivate, and the clientele she aspired to draw in. It was a raw outline, yet it resonated as the dawn of something authentic. She had long harbored a fear of planning, a fear of failure, yet this evening, she decided to welcome the chance of triumph. The following morning, Mari felt an exhilarating nervousness bubbling within her. Late last night, she sent a message to Edward, inquiring if they could meet once more. She felt a strong urge to engage him further about his proposal, to embark on that initial journey with someone who had faith in her. Upon receiving his prompt reply, confirming their meeting, she experienced a rush of thankfulness intertwined with a hint of nervousness. What if he had simply shown some courtesy the other evening? What if he truly doubted her ability to accomplish this? They decided to rendezvous at the familiar cafe, the very place where their first genuine conversation had unfolded. As Mari journeyed onward, her heart pounded with anticipation. Her mind was consumed with the anticipation of sitting across from Edward once more, engaging in a conversation about her future, her aspirations, and the ways in which he might lend his support. As she entered the cafe, her eyes quickly found him. Edward occupied his familiar corner table, exuding his characteristic calmness. Yet there was an unmistakable shift in his presence this time. He appeared more at ease, more comfortable than during their previous encounter. He rose to his feet upon catching sight of her, offering a smile that sent her heart racing, and motioned for her to take a seat. "It's wonderful to see you again, Mari," he said, his tone rich and welcoming. "How is the planning progressing?" Mari smiled, yet her nerves remained taut. She settled into her seat, setting her petite notebook on the table before her. She started, her voice trembling just a bit. "I've been contemplating it quite a bit. I'm aware that this is a significant leap, yet I've begun jotting down some ideas, attempting to determine how I might bring it to fruition. I suppose I'm simply apprehensive about making that initial significant move." Edward leaned in, his demeanor earnest yet supportive. "You've made a significant move by choosing to take action, Mari. That surpasses what the majority accomplish in their lifetime. Simply have faith in your own abilities." "I have faith in your abilities. Allow me to assist you in beginning your journey. I'm aware of several individuals who can assist with the logistics and the business aspects. Let's collaborate on this project." Mari experienced a gentle warmth enveloping her heart at his words. It was only now that she understood the depth of her need for someone to have faith in her. Edward was not merely dispensing advice. He was extending his unwavering support and deep trust. For the first time, she sensed that this was no longer an unattainable fantasy. It was something within her reach. "What should I do first?" she inquired, her voice growing more assured. Edward grinned, reclining in his chair. "Let's begin with the fundamentals. Have you thought about a specific place?" Mari paused, uncertainty flickering in her mind. She had certainly contemplated it, without a doubt. Yet, envisioning the prospect of launching a cafe in such a costly city felt quite daunting. She felt utterly lost, unsure of how to start her search. She confessed that she had considered several areas, but nothing concrete had come to mind. "I'm uncertain about whether I can manage the costs of a prime location. It appears to be beyond my grasp." Edward nodded, fully grasping her worry. "I can assist you with that. One might be astonished by the possibilities that exist, even in a place such as this. It's all about discovering the perfect environment, one that aligns with your financial plan and creative aspirations. Let's begin by exploring some locations that would be suitable for your creative vision." Mari experienced a wave of optimism. She had been too fearful to even entertain the thought of managing a place by herself, but with Edward's encouragement, it seemed within reach. For the next hour, they engaged in a lively discussion about possible locations, compiling a list of Mari's desires for her cafe, while also considering what could realistically be accomplished. When they wrapped up, Mari sensed that she had achieved more than she had in the last several months of contemplating it solo. As the moment to depart arrived, Edward rose and offered her another smile. "You can do it, Mari. I'm here to assist in any way possible and will ensure you're heading in the right direction. Feel free to get in touch whenever you're prepared to move forward." Mari beamed, a thrill coursing through her that had long been absent from her life. "Thank you, Edward. This means the world to me. I will not disappoint you." "You won't," Edward said with a playful wink. "I am completely confident in that." As Mari stepped out of the cafe, a sense of lightness enveloped her, as if a heavy burden had been released from her shoulders. With each step she took toward her dream, bolstered by Edward's unwavering support, it felt as though her aspirations were finally coming into focus. The horizon opened up with endless potential, and for the first time, she felt a thrilling courage to welcome it. The weeks that followed brimmed with both thrill and unpredictability for Mari. She began exploring possible sites for her cafe, an endeavor she never envisioned herself undertaking just a month prior. With Edward's assistance, she started to formulate plans, engage with real estate agents, and collect the necessary resources. Yet, a lingering sensation within her remained, an undeniable awareness of being in over her head. Each time she entered a possible venue, the weight of her ambition washed over her anew. She wasn't merely launching a cafe. She was embracing a significant gamble, venturing into an unfamiliar realm. The anxiety of not succeeding lingered in her mind more frequently than she was willing to acknowledge, and every time it surfaced, she suppressed it, reassuring herself that this was her lifelong aspiration. One evening, after a long day of exploring potential spaces and making countless calls, Mari found herself on her couch, gazing at the array of possible locations laid out before her. Her phone vibrated on the coffee table, and as she looked over, she noticed Edward's name displayed on the screen. He was remarkably encouraging, reaching out to her often to inquire about her progress and providing guidance whenever she sought it. As the days passed, their bond deepened, and she discovered a growing anticipation for his messages and phone calls. Mari lifted the phone, her fingers poised above the screen, caught in a moment of contemplation about whether to respond. Her thoughts were a whirlwind, filled with countless things to unravel. Yet there was a sense of solace in Edward's presence, even if it was merely conveyed through a message. She made the choice to respond. "Hello, Edward." "Hello there." His quick reply caught me off guard. "I was just thinking about you. How's everything at the cafe? Have you discovered anything that catches your interest?" Mari smiled quietly, a soft glow of contentment lighting up her face. His words brought a sense of warmth, a steady presence that felt like a gentle embrace in times of uncertainty. She had yet to share with him the depth of her overwhelm, the moments when she felt as though she were drowning in her own circumstances. She hesitated to acknowledge her uncertainty, the thought of failure looming over her like a dark cloud. She replied, "I found a few places. However, I find myself uncertain about my readiness at this moment. Some of them resonate well, yet the costs are, shall we say, beyond what I anticipated." Edward's response arrived in no time at all. "I comprehend. This is a significant milestone, but you possess all the tools necessary to succeed, Mari. If you require assistance with anything, I'm available to help." Mari read his message, and a tightness gripped her throat. She hesitated to share her uncertainties with him. Ultimately, he had contributed greatly to her journey, providing guidance and even introducing her to several possible locations. Yet the reality was that fear gripped her. The anxiety of not succeeding, of disappointing herself and those close to her, was all-consuming. "Thank you, Edward. I'm uncertain about my ability to tackle this. I've always envisioned opening a cafe, but as it starts to come to fruition, I find myself questioning my abilities." The reply arrived promptly. "Mari, you are truly exceptional. You've already accomplished the most challenging part by reaching this point. Many individuals share their aspirations yet take no action to pursue them. You've brought it to fruition. Have confidence in yourself, for I have faith in you." Mari lingered for a moment, absorbing his words once more. She couldn't deny that Edward's encouragement sparked a glimmer of hope within her, suggesting that perhaps she wasn't as adrift as she had believed. Perhaps she had concentrated too much on her fears and had not given herself the chance to recognize the significant strides she had taken. She crafted a response, her fingers gliding over the keys with increasing assurance. "Thanks a lot. Truly. Your presence is truly invaluable to me." Edward's response was straightforward, yet it managed to bring a smile to her face. "You have support in this, Mari. I'm here to stay, and I'm not leaving." Mari set her phone aside and reclined on the couch, a wave of tranquility enveloping her. After days of burden, she finally sensed a lightness, as if the world's weight had lifted from her shoulders. Edward had bestowed upon her a gift she had not recognized as essential, a person who held faith in her, not merely in her dream, but within her very essence. She wasn't required to be flawless. She didn't have to possess all the solutions, and she definitely didn't have to face it by herself. With support by her side, everything changed for the better. The following day, after considerable reflection and a touch more bravery, Mari resolved to move ahead. She contacted one of the real estate agents Edward had suggested and arranged a viewing for a property she had been considering for several days. Though it slightly exceeded her budget, there was an undeniable sense that it was meant for her. As she stood in the space, envisioning the walls bustling with customers and the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafting through the air, she understood that this was the moment she had been waiting for. This marked her initial genuine stride toward transforming her dream into reality. Later that afternoon, when she called Edward to share the news about the space, her voice brimmed with enthusiasm. She was unaware of how deeply she craved his support until the moment she discovered the strength to take the next step. "I did it!" she exclaimed, her words tumbling out in a flurry. "I've arranged a viewing for tomorrow, and I have a feeling this could be the one. It resonates perfectly." Edward's voice radiated warmth and pride. "That's wonderful, Mari. I always believed you had it in you. Keep in mind that taking your time is perfectly fine. Take your time with every decision. I'll be by your side to assist you at every turn." Mari beamed as she ended the call, a newfound confidence washing over her that she hadn't felt in weeks. Though the journey ahead was still daunting, she was beginning to find faith in her own abilities. She had a partner in this journey, and with Edward by her side, she felt confident that her dream was within reach. Mari awoke that morning infused with a sense of purpose she hadn't experienced in quite some time. The past few weeks had unfolded in a whirlwind of discussions, choices, and uncertainty. She had at last found the perfect spot for the cafe, a quaint yet inviting corner space nestled in the bustling heart of the city. It wasn't as grand as she had initially envisioned, but it felt just right for the ambience she aimed to cultivate. The walls featured expansive windows, allowing cascades of natural light to flood the space, while the floors exuded a comforting warmth that created an inviting atmosphere. Though it showed signs of wear, she could already envision its possibilities. A million tasks remained before she could finally open her doors. Yet this marked the beginning, a genuine beginning. She settled into her kitchen chair, gazing at the pile of documents laid out before her. Lease agreements, permits, budgets. Every document appeared to mock her with its intricate nature. Mari found herself in uncharted territory, grappling with the intricate web of details that came with running a business for the first time, and it all felt like too much to handle. She had put forth every effort to maintain order, yet now, as she sat in solitude confronted by the vastness of her undertaking, the weight of it all settled upon her. She was not merely putting money into something. She was pouring her future, her heart, her time, and her dreams into it. It was more than merely a cafe. The leap transformed her life, and the burden of that responsibility bore heavily upon her. The phone rang, interrupting her reverie. Her eyes flicked to the screen, landing on Edward's name. Days had passed without a word from him, and a thrill of anticipation stirred within her at the mere possibility of his message. She swiftly grabbed the phone, attempting to maintain a nonchalant tone, even though her anxiety was clear in her voice. "Hey, Edward," she said, trying to mask the flutter of nerves within her.
"Hey, Marie."
His voice radiated warmth, as it always did, and in that moment, she found herself feeling a touch more comfortable. "How are you doing? Have you had an opportunity to review that space you were thinking about?" "I have," Mari replied, rising from the table and making her way to the window, gazing out at the bustling street below. "Yesterday I finalized the lease, in fact." She blurted it out before she could rein herself in, and a surge of anxiety washed over her. The task was completed. It was genuine. "That's truly remarkable, Mari. Well done. I always believed in your ability to succeed." His words brought a smile to her face, filling her with a deep sense of pride in her achievement. Yet, that pride was tinged with uncertainty, and it was difficult to dispel the notion that perhaps she wasn't entirely prepared for this. "Thank you, Edward. Yet, there remains an abundance of tasks ahead. I'm uncertain if I'm prepared to manage everything that's coming my way. It exceeds my expectations significantly." Edward's voice took on a gentler tone. "It's perfectly natural to experience those feelings. You're embarking on a significant endeavor. However, you have already demonstrated your ability to manage it. This marks the start of something greater. Your instincts are spot on, Mari, and your determination is commendable. This will come together for you." His unwavering belief in her felt rejuvenating, like a refreshing breeze. She yearned to trust him, and a fragment of her heart did. Yet uncertainty lingered, particularly as she gazed upon the towering pile of obligations that awaited her. "Thank you for your kind words. It's simply that there's an abundance of information I lack, and it all feels quite daunting. I'm ready to assist you. Keep in mind, you're not facing this by yourself," Edward reassured her. "I'm always just a phone call away if you need guidance or if you simply want to discuss things with someone." Her heart swelled at his words. Edward had transformed into more than merely a guide or a source of counsel. He had evolved into a reliable presence, someone who instilled in her the comforting realization that she was not navigating this journey by herself. "I truly appreciate it, Edward. I can't imagine my life without you," she whispered softly. "There's no need for gratitude," he responded. "I have faith in you, Mari. I'm staying put. Believe in yourself." An overwhelming surge of feeling enveloped her. For years, she had been trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, convinced that her aspirations were unattainable and that she was unworthy of the kind of encouragement Edward was extending to her. In that instant, she realized that his support would empower her to navigate the uncertainty ahead. She was determined to bring this to fruition. "Thank you, Edward," she murmured, her tone imbued with genuine warmth. "Is that so? I truly mean it. Your contributions have been invaluable to me. It's wonderful to hear that. Yet this is merely the start. We'll navigate this journey together, one step at a time, Edward comforted her. Now share additional details about the space. What comes next? As she shared her vision for the space, her enthusiasm started to swell. They deliberated over the design, the layout, and the elements she needed to begin tackling right away. A surge of inspiration and potential washed over me. Yet this time, it felt invigorating rather than daunting. With Edward's backing, she sensed she possessed the tools and understanding to embrace it all. Once their discussion concluded, Mari returned to the table, a newfound resolve coursing through her. With the next steps clearly mapped out before her, a sense of calm washed over her for the first time in days, filling her with the belief that everything would turn out just fine. The path before her promised difficulties, yet fear no longer held sway over her heart. She found herself surrounded by companions, and with every day that unfolded, she edged nearer to the life she had always envisioned. Edward's belief in her transcended mere reassurance. It served as a powerful reminder that she possessed all the qualities necessary for success. She wasn't merely creating a cafe. She was crafting a vision for what was to come. For the first time, it felt within reach. Mari rose with the dawn, her thoughts swirling with the multitude of tasks that awaited her attention. The cafe space was finally taking shape. She had engaged contractors to commence the renovations, and progress was being made, though not as swiftly as she had anticipated. It seemed that with each item she checked off her list, a new task emerged to take its place. After weeks of careful consideration, she meticulously selected the ideal color palette, chose the furniture with precision, and thoughtfully planned the layout. With the work now underway, a mix of excitement and apprehension filled the air. She stood at the precipice of realizing her dream, yet the shadow of failure loomed behind her, whispering doubts that refused to fade. She found herself rising earlier than normal, the weight of it all preventing her from finding rest at night. Yet today, there was an unmistakable shift in the air. Today, a tranquility enveloped her, a feeling she had long been deprived of. Edward consistently reached out to her, providing guidance, support, and occasionally a comforting word. Their connection had evolved in recent weeks. What began as professional guidance transformed into a profound, more intimate connection. He stood by her side, not merely as a guide, but as a confidant, a person who had faith in her even during moments when she struggled to have faith in herself. Following her morning coffee, Mari resolved to visit the cafe to assess the progress. She arrived precisely when the contractors commenced their work, and the atmosphere buzzed with the clamor of drills and hammers. The walls were receiving fresh coats of paint, the floors were undergoing meticulous refinishing, and the space was gradually evolving into something new. Amidst the chaos, a captivating beauty emerged in the transformation that filled her with excitement. She strolled through the space, absorbing every nuance, envisioning how it would all come together in the end. It was assembling, bit by bit, and for the first time in ages, she sensed that everything was beginning to align perfectly. As she strolled through the area, a vibration from her phone interrupted her thoughts. She retrieved it and discovered a message from Edward. "Hey, how's the cafe shaping up? Are you interested in going out for dinner this evening? You truly deserve a moment of respite." Mari beamed at the message, savoring the comforting essence of his words. He had an uncanny ability to sense when she could use a bit of motivation. She responded promptly, expressing her enthusiasm to meet for dinner. After all the effort and tension, an evening spent with someone who genuinely got her was precisely what she craved. That evening, they gathered at a serene restaurant, a cherished haunt of theirs. The space was intimate and inviting, bathed in soft light, creating a laid-back ambience that put Mari at ease. Edward had taken his place at their familiar table by the time she walked in. He rose to his feet as she entered, greeting her with a warm smile that illuminated the room, making her feel as though the world had gained a touch of brilliance. "I was wondering when you'd finally make an appearance," he remarked, a playful lilt in his voice. I began to feel a sense of unease at the thought of dining solo. Mari chuckled softly as she settled into her seat, her shoulders finally easing after what felt like an eternity. "Apologies for the delay," she responded. "Today has been quite the experience." I'm really pleased that we can finally take the time to reconnect and share what's been happening. As they placed their food order, their conversation naturally shifted to the ambience of the cafe while they awaited their meal. Mari shared with Edward the strides she had made, the small triumphs, and the obstacles that remained on her path. As she spoke, a swell of pride began to rise within her. In the face of uncertainty that had shrouded her thoughts, she accomplished something she once deemed unattainable. She was crafting a venture, and it was unfolding. Edward absorbed every word, providing thoughtful insights and unwavering support. In just a few months, you've accomplished more than what many achieve in years, he remarked, his tone brimming with respect. I have immense pride in you, Mari. Your efforts are truly commendable. As she absorbed his compliments, a wave of emotion surged within Mari, causing her heart to constrict. I couldn't have done it without you, Edward, she said, her voice now softer. Your unwavering presence has been my anchor, and I truly doubt I could have persevered without your encouragement. Edward extended his arm across the table, his fingers softly enveloping hers. No need for gratitude. You are the one putting in the effort. I'm here to assist in any way possible. I have faith in your abilities. His words struck her with an intensity she hadn't anticipated. She had always sensed that she was capable of more than she acknowledged, but when he voiced it, infused with genuine belief, it transformed everything into a realm of possibility. Perhaps, just perhaps, she might be able to accomplish this. Their meal was served, and the discussion turned to more cheerful subjects. They engaged in a delightful exchange, discussing both trivial matters and profound ideas, chuckling over the amusing incidents of the week, reflecting on current events, and relishing the warmth of their companionship. As they concluded their meal, Mari experienced a profound feeling of satisfaction. She had become so engrossed in her tasks and the weight of expectations that she had overlooked the significance of pausing, of savoring the tranquil moments. Following their meal, they strolled out of the restaurant side by side. The bustling city streets hummed with activity, yet an unexpected tranquility enveloped them, creating a serene atmosphere as they meandered along the sidewalk. Edward stepped a bit nearer, and she sensed the comforting warmth of his presence beside her. You know, he said, shattering the quiet, I've been pondering something. You've made remarkable progress, Mari. You are the driving force behind all of this. It's important to pause and truly savor the experience along the way, rather than solely focusing on the end goal. Mari gazed up at him, her heart fluttering in her chest. I'm unsure if I have the ability to do that. So much remains to be accomplished. He offered her a gentle smile, his gaze warm and tender. Indeed, you've come a long way. You're not by yourself in this. No matter what comes our way, we will navigate it side by side. Progress unfolds gradually. Mari sensed a constriction in her throat, overwhelmed by her feelings. His words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, allowing her to finally exhale and find solace. She no longer faced this solitude. She was not alone. There was a presence beside her, a person who held faith in her abilities. And that changed everything. Upon arriving at her apartment, Mari glanced at Edward, a subtle smile gracing her lips. Thanks once more. For all things. There's no need for thanks, he said, his voice soft and reassuring. It brings me joy to be present and assist you. With a final smile, he leaned in to offer her a brief yet significant embrace. I look forward to our meeting soon, Mari. Remember, you're doing wonderfully. Mari observed him retreating, a wave of tranquility enveloping her. As she lingered in that moment, a significant realization dawned upon her. She had embarked on this journey by herself, but now, she was no longer walking it alone. And that realization enveloped her in a sense of optimism, a belief that regardless of what lay ahead, she was prepared to face it. Mari awoke at dawn, her heart buoyant with a fresh sense of direction. The cafe was on the brink of completion, and the anticipation that had accumulated over the past few months was now overflowing, saturating every part of her being. She had devoted countless years to envisioning this moment, questioning its very possibility, and now she found herself on the brink. There were still tasks to complete, finishing touches to apply, final arrangements to finalize, and the unavoidable last-minute tweaks. Yet the conclusion was within reach. The cafe, the dream she had tirelessly pursued, was on the brink of welcoming its first guests. She hurriedly put on her clothes, heading to the cafe with a feeling of excitement. The street lay in serene stillness, the city on the cusp of awakening, yet an electric energy hummed in the air around her. The contractors had completed their tasks, and now the moment of truth had arrived, the final inspection, where all her efforts would either align perfectly or demand further adjustments. Upon entering, she was welcomed by the comforting buzz of movement, individuals shining tables, hanging signs, and meticulously arranging the chairs. It transformed from mere space into the manifestation of her dream, revealing itself piece by piece. She strolled through the cafe, absorbing the transformations, the nuances she had meticulously chosen, the gentle illumination, the inviting booths, the nostalgic accents she had advocated for. Her heart seemed to resonate in every corner, and for the first time, she embraced the pride swelling within her. She was crafting something tangible, something that transcended mere imagination. The door creaked open, and Edward stepped inside, exuding an air of professionalism that was unmistakable. He had stood by her through every phase of the journey, and his presence now seemed to complete the picture. He had consistently offered guidance and support whenever she required it, but now, as he entered the cafe, he appeared equally as proud as she was. "How is everything shaping up?" he inquired, his tone infused with supportive warmth. He had always been a source of support, exuding calmness, but today there was an added spark in his eyes, a mutual thrill, as if he, too, recognized the significance of this moment. Mari beamed, gracefully moving aside to allow him to absorb the surroundings. "It's nearly complete. There are still a few details to refine, but it's really starting to take shape. Truly feels tangible now, doesn't it?" Edward surveyed his surroundings, absorbing every detail. "It's truly remarkable, Mari. This is truly something remarkable you've created. I always believed you had this potential, but witnessing it firsthand is an entirely different experience." Her heart blossomed at his words. He had always held faith in her, often more than she held in herself, and hearing him express it now with such reverence made her feel as if the entire universe had realigned in the most wonderful manner. For the next hour, they meticulously reviewed the final details, scrutinizing the layout, fine-tuning the menu, ensuring that every element was perfectly in place. Edward was present throughout the journey, providing insights and support, yet always allowing others to lead. It was her cafe, her vision, and he honored that. Once they completed their task, they paused in the center of the room, allowing themselves a moment to fully absorb the atmosphere. "I can't believe it's actually happening," Mari said, her voice soft, filled with wonder. "This is truly unfolding." Edward nodded, his gaze intense, as if he grasped the significance of the moment. "Your dedication has truly paid off. You are worthy of all that is heading your direction. Remember, you have company on this journey. I'm available anytime you require assistance." She gazed at him, her heart brimming with appreciation. Throughout the last several months, she had gained invaluable insights from him, not only regarding business but also about trust, self-belief, and the essence of embracing opportunities. He had revealed to her that seeking assistance was perfectly acceptable, that relying on another person was not a weakness, and that the dread of failing need not dictate her actions. She had come this far thanks to him. "Thank you," she uttered, her voice heavy with feeling. "Your assistance has been invaluable beyond measure. Your support has been invaluable to me in this journey." Edward's lips curled into a gentle smile, his demeanor becoming more tender. "You've accomplished it, Mari. What you've created is truly remarkable. I'm truly grateful to have been involved in this." As they stood there together, taking in the cafe they had both poured their hearts into creating, Mari felt a wave of tranquility wash over her. The journey to this moment had been lengthy and fraught with doubt. Yet now, with the cafe nearly prepared to welcome guests, she realized that every ounce of her effort had truly paid off. Challenges lay ahead, undeniably, yet she felt a newfound readiness to confront them, stronger than ever before. The doors to her dream were on the verge of swinging wide, and for the first time, Mari understood that fear no longer held her captive. She was prepared. With Edward beside her, she felt an unwavering belief that anything could be achieved. As they stepped out of the cafe, the sun dipped low on the horizon, bathing the street in a warm, golden light. It seemed like the dawn of something new, an opportunity to begin anew. For the first time in ages, Mari sensed that she was precisely where she belonged. The conclusion of this narrative resonates as a stunning synthesis of individual development and the strength found in companionship. Mari's transformation from a modest janitor with aspirations to a self-assured woman ready to launch her own cafe is truly uplifting. Edward's presence in her life is crucial, serving not merely as a mentor or a friend, but as an individual who recognizes her potential and aids her in bringing it to fruition. His unwavering faith in her, particularly during moments of self-doubt, serves as a powerful force for her metamorphosis. The most captivating aspect of the ending is that it transcends Mari's dream of opening the cafe. It beautifully highlights the personal connections she has cultivated throughout her journey. Edward's support was not merely a tactic. He truly valued her success, which is what infused their relationship with significance. It illustrates that success transcends mere goal attainment. It's fundamentally about the individuals who support you along the journey. The concluding moment, where Mari ultimately feels prepared and self-assured, embodies a profound sense of achievement, reflecting not only her professional journey but also her personal development. The essence of this message resonates deeply. Our aspirations might appear unattainable, yet with the right companions by our side, we can summon the bravery needed to turn them into reality. It's about discovering faith in our own abilities, welcoming support, and fully engaging with the path ahead. The conclusion transcends the mere act of starting a cafe. It embodies the journey towards embracing happiness, love, and the power of self-belief.